G'day, everyone. We are back inside NBA. We are coming at you straight up after this with Heat Check. Skiddy and I are back on deck to bring you the latest updates across the NBA. Who's hot, who's not. We're going to do your buy lows. We're going to do your sell highs. And we're going to do our weekend Heat Check to get you set for the end of week 10. We're almost at the hump, and we should call it hump week in NBA fantasy. Let's get to it with Skiddy straight after this.
Welcome to the Ultimate Super Coach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Well, I guess that we could lean up with this one, the man Skiddy, and with the Western Conference leading Minnesota Timberwolves, they continue to look really good.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, shout out and big hello to you, mate. How's everything going on this fine? What is it today? Saturday? Friday?
It's
I don't
Friday.
know. It's holidays,
we play it on
man.
a Saturday. It's a Friday. We play it on a Saturday. We're doing it while the games are on so we can talk about some live action because we've got a couple of guys who wanted to get onto nice and live. You've got the phone at the ready. I've got the scores on the laptop beside me. And we can talk about a couple of big things, including that one. Biggest news over Christmas, turkey. Hot or not? Are we selling? Are we selling high or buying low on turkey as a meat at Christmas?
Man, I am I don't give a stuff about the turkey, man. Just give me that Christmas ham, that good. Yeah, you know what, man. Like, give me that good Christmas ham that we get here in Australia, man. I'm all about that Christmas ham. That is just elite. But I'm still, I might go with a bit of turkey here and there. How about you? What are you feeling?
Oh, mate, turn me over and base me sideways and score me silly. A good ham. I had a beautiful triple smoked ham with her. Here's a random recipe for you. The great grandma of my son, my wife's grandma, did this marmalade with sweet chili sauce, Worcestershire sauce we put with it, and some honey. And her and I mixed it up. Aileen and I, shout out to Aileen, mixed it up in the kitchen, put that on it, and it was superb. Just like the Denver Nuggets, who are a very superb basketball team. And without Aaron Gordon today, you said Peyton Watson was going to be yesterday to me on the pod. Shout out to you and shout out to our friend Kingy at FBI Basketball. Make sure you check that out. We did about who is going to absorb the minutes. You said, look, I think Peyton Watson's your guy. And, mate, didn't he have a line today in their win over the Grizzlies? 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was a little bit worried in that first quarter because Watson started, but played pretty crap, and I think he had 7 minutes and Holiday had 11, and I'm sitting there going, you're kidding. They're going to pump the minutes into Holiday, but 23 for Watson today, but the Nuggets starters, Jokic had 29, Pope, Murray, and had 25, so he played about the same starters minutes as it was a blowout because they won by 30-odd. What I found very, very interesting about it was Watson actually took the most shots out of the starters as well. He did. He had 14, Jokic 11, Caldwell Pope 10, Murray 12, and Porter 6. So, that's very, very interesting to see that they are actually happy to have him not only in the starting group, but also to be having the shots that he would normally generate off the bench group, which is good. But how about that game from Jokic, mate? 11 of 11 for 100% shooting. 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds 14 rebounds with 10 assists as well.
Is this going to be the time that I rescind your invitation to play along in my friends and family league next year because you got the number 1 pick and took him? Is that just?
He was always going to go number 1, man. That's just
of course he was
a great line, but that's
a sexy line.
The Grizz, they just look so bloody horrible without Ja Morant there. I don't know. You don't know what to say. It's amazing that he's that influential for the Grizzlies team, but there you go.
Look, I think he's just the glue that sticks everything together with how they run their basketball. And I mean, you can't exactly give it to Vernon out there and expect him to be doing these things on 30 minutes, a team high 30 minutes, 1 from 7, 1 from 4, 11 rebounds, which was nice from him. The point guard getting the most rebounds was not on. But one thing I do want to touch on, and I've said this for weeks, I said, look out for Marcus Smart. And there was a buy low window for anyone who had IR spots for Marcus Smart. I like his potential return when Jar came back. He is proving me right. And I know this isn't a sell high or buy low, but if Marcus Smart's around, you window on that's eclipsed because in 23 minutes today, 17 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and a steal for Marcus is very good. But we'll get to guys who we can buy low and sell high. Major notes of today's games, because I guess should we play the soundbite? Because we're already bloody halfway through it. To be fair, should we do it? This is a bit of a rewind while it's going. A bit of a live feedback show, I guess you could say, because right now in the third quarter, with 1:33 to go, the Warriors are down 13 points to the Miami Heat without one Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, the Heat, they just, next player steps up and they just keep swinging. No Kyle Lowry either. Tyler Herro's just, he's playing a beautiful game right now. I think they were locking Steph's got 13 now, but Steph hadn't scored in the first quarter, which I thought was just outrageous. And then he had to sit on the bench for a while they played Chris Paul to just kind of run the hell and get him back in there. So Heat are all over him at the moment. And this is in Golden State too. Unbelievable.
It is. And it's 50% from the floor, 51% for the Miami Heat right now, 42% for the Warriors. And that kind of puts it in perspective of how close the contest is going to be. Whenever your inefficiencies come up across the team, then you're going to take the L. And guys like Andrew Wiggins off the bench, 3 from 9. Yep, good for him. Kuminga, 4 from 10. Steph, though, the 3 from 11 on your just obviously one of the most elite scorers and shooters of all time in the NBA. And he goes 2 from 6 from 3, and Clay goes 2 from 5. And Kuminga goes 0 from 3 from deep. It's not looking good for those blokes out there. But I want to touch on one right now in the rewind, because it's a game that's live, and it was a point of it. The Spurs are with the Trailblazers right now. And I love that. I guess this is a bit of I'm going to play just for the shit of it. This one here. Yeah, breaking news. Scoot Henderson believes the Rookie of the Year race is still open, and that's his intention to win it. I saw that quote this morning, and I woke up to that after we did that pod last night, and I was like, I think someone in our group chat was like, someone get the kid drug tested, because he thinks the rookie, and it is wide open, probably between two guys, and their names are Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama at the end of the day. And if anything happens to Victor or anything happens to Chet, it becomes almost an inevitable one-horse race. There's no chance Scoot Henderson wins Rookie of the Year, is there? No, there's none.
I mean, he'd have to do some insane stuff to be able to get there. I mean, look, we're not even halfway through the season yet, so if he pulls out an absolute amazing second half of the season, then he can have a chance. But I mean, at the moment, Homie Huckers Jr. is outplaying him pretty comfortably, I'd say. So,
if this was a year, I pose you this question: Would the Homie Haskes, if he had played like a Scoot Henderson kind of rookie year or something like that this year, and he had this season next year, would he be a candidate for most improved player in the NBA?
Well, they don't really give it to second-year players. It's more to the third year, as you don't normally see a second-year player win that award. So, I don't see that. I mean, I don't know. I understand why they do it, because they expect that jump out of most rookies to second year. So, I think that's all right, because you're kind of looking at the award. Like, you can look at it stats-wise, and you can go, oh, we can give it to a rookie that averaged. Like, let's say we gave it to Darius Garland coming off his rookie year, where he was literally statistically the worst player in the NBA, and then 2 years later he was an all-star. But that could have been given there, but that's generally not how they like to give that award. So, but either way, Homie's playing bloody good basketball, and he fits that Miami system beautifully.
Yeah, I heard on a Bill Simmons podcast that he had some blokes telling him that, look, they hoped and prayed that he still would not be on the board by the time he rocked around to the Miami Heat, because he was a perfect Heat guy. And he was, and he is. And it's true enough said. But on the Spurs and Trailblazers, look, it's a 10-point game right now. Victor Wembanyama, though, your potential and probable Rookie of the Year, 20 points, 6 block shots through 3 quarters, perfect from the line, 7 from 12 from the field, 4 assists and 4 rebounds from him. Comparatively to Scoot Henderson, who got the start today, 4 from 16, 1 from 5 from deep, perfect from the line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal in there. Look, the inefficiency's there. If this bloke makes 3 more shots and is sub 500 in the 400s, and 2 more of those are threes, and he's sitting around 20 points right now, you're absolutely laughing. And with Brogdon, you're laughing. And Duop Reith has not entered the game yet. Anthony Simons is obviously out, but people picking up Duop Reith today as an option in this team.
I think they're more looking at Duop Reith, but he hasn't even got a minute yet. They've gone with Budgie, with his beautiful bloody
Budgie. The
what's he got?
the budgie
He's got
smuggler.
He's got dyed gold hair, I think, and his hairline's halfway back up his head. But yep, good on him. Good on you, Budgie. But this mate, I can't believe they're actually this close. I'm pretty sure the score was 24-4 at one point. So Spurs were absolutely killing them. And now, Wemby
back to 11 points. And they're up to now 13 points on that one. Look, this is a run, and we want to touch on this one before. No really major news today. I guess we can take away from ins and outs. I think the biggest one there was Scoot Henderson getting a start. That was pretty significant because we wanted to know when there'd be a shift in Portland. That's happening right now. This was the shift today, starting him and Brogdon. And obviously when everything's back to place, we see Brogdon losing minutes there inevitably, potentially. Your biggest thing today, I know you put this in the group chat today, Tyrese Halliburton. What a sexy, and I regret, by the way, I made a choice. It was either Patty Williams. Jesus, I feel so shit saying this. It was either Patty Williams or I was going to get Champagny in for 2 games on the back-to-back. And so I was like, you know what? Champagny's been great. He's got the start. Pop's going to give him some trust. He's playing against the Portland Trailblazers. Of all people, he is playing against the Portland Trailblazers. Surely he can have a decent game there. The Pacers, they're somewhat competent. Surely I don't take Patty Williams for the day. I didn't take Patty Williams, and the bloke had an absolute blinder with 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, 9 from 14 from the field. So Patty Williams, if he's around, I've been saying it for a while, he's a guy you must get in your league. Patty Williams is a must-add there.
Yeah, he's definitely been stepping it up as of late since Levine's been out, and so is just all of the Bulls players. Really, Levine went out and they all decided that they knew how to play basketball again. But DeRozan, not too bad, a bit crap from the field, which is a bit annoying. But his free throws were a bit back up. He's a bit
good house from him.
So if Vooch sits any games, man, you pick up Drummond so goddamn quickly. 7 and 16 rebounds with a steal today, coming off of his, what was it, 20 points?
25 rebounds the other day?
Outrageous. Do you know, I saw the stat the other day, which I could not believe. Andre Drummond has more 20-20 games than Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon, which just seems amazing.
I actually wouldn't dispute that, because remember about 5 years ago when he was still in Detroit, he had this ripping start to the season where I think he put up a 20-20 game every game for the first maybe 2, 3, 4 games. Like every single game was, that's fine. I've got that rebound. Boom, done.
Yeah. I know he's the rebound leader for however many years he was, and I know he's so dominant. But to think that he's done that more times than Shaq is just, that's crazy to me. And the only 2 players in front of him is Dwight Howard and
Superman.
Moses Malone. They're the only 2 players that are ahead of him.
Shout out to one of the true undisputed champions of the NBA, by the way, with Moses Malone with an absolute bullet. Look, I think that's the main ones to take away from the day, Skiddy, so far. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton. Actually, you know what? I want to give a shout out to.
There was one more as well.
Give me one. Is who I'm thinking of?
Pacers.
Yeah, Sticks, Jalen Smith.
Yeah, Sticks, Nemhard, and Neesmith all getting the start today instead of Mathurin, Hield, and Toppin. That's a bit of a change. Even though Toppin, 12 rebounds, didn't see that as a starter, so that's a bit of a change.
No, and in 25 minutes he did that as well with, can I just say, and this is the interesting thing you pulled with that one, because the Buddy Hield Benedict Mathurin experiment, you actually pulled out some really good info there, Skiddy, because Benedict Mathurin, it was like, do we do Buddy or Benedict, Buddy or Benedict, Buddy or Benedict? Well, now it wasn't Buddy or Benedict, but Buddy ended up playing almost a team high 33 minutes.
Yeah.
And whether it was a blowout or not a blowout, and whatever it is, because Indiana made I won't say it's a blowout, because they actually put together a solid fourth quarter. And you could say that it was like reasonably close in the third and they had to roll them. But Toppin got 25 off the bench. They pretty much ran a 9-man rotation, which was fair enough. But Naismith ran the team high, 37 minutes to Tyrese, 34 to Naismith, and 33 to Buddy, even off the bench. You're right, it was really interesting to see that move.
Yeah, they just kind of like chop and change their whole lineup wherever they saw fit. So, and it worked. They played some beautiful basketball. They pretty much just said, give Tyrese the ball and let him make the play. Good on him for getting the 21 and 20 assists with no turnovers. I think it's been 7 years since that was last done by Chris Paul or Rondo, I think. So, another amazing game, just returning that. That is just absolutely skyrocketing your assists heading into the weekend. That's bloody beautiful. I mean, shit. I own Tyrese in obviously a lot of leagues, which and pretty happy about that.
Pretty happy about that. That's probably an understatement if I've ever heard one. All right, bugger that off sideways. I'm sick of you talking about Tyrese Halliburton. Let's talk about this. Let's get to our games of tomorrow instead of talking about our games today for our weekend. Hang on.
We got one more game that we obviously have to discuss. That was a big one. Detroit versus Boston.
No, it's not a big one.
Done, Detroit. They had a fucking red hot crack. That goaltending was so close. I reckon that could have gone either way. I think
it could have gone either way. Yeah.
I'm not even going to say which way I think it went, but I think it was that close that it could have gone either way. So if the ref,
it touched the board. It touched the board. It touched the board. It was 50-50. It was on the board. Like I didn't see it. I didn't think it.
You know,
look, if it's on the board first and you then press it, it was literally a case of touch and go. And I'm a proud Jason Tatum owner, but I'm not a Celtics fan. So I'm very happy to see them lose. And I would have messaged a whole bunch of friends really quickly who were Celtics fans. I would have been like, hey guys, guess what? You suck. But just for no reason at all, even though I think the Jason Tatum isolation, I'm going to spin towards the basket every possession I get. Was just I think he did it in like 2 or 3 possessions in a row with a 2-point game. And it was just left to isolation with basically him just putting his shoulder down, turning to the cup and trying to get that little lay in, and it missed twice off the rim. And the one time that he didn't choose to do that, congratulations, Tatum. You made the right read, realizing that someone's going to collapse on you. He spotted up Derek White for that beautiful 3 to pretty much ice it and put it in their favor. So I think, look, well done, Detroit Pistons, but they do continue to suck. And
28 in a row. Woo!
Is it possible it's because Monty Williams isn't wearing glasses anymore?
I think it's because Monty keeps putting out a shit lineup.
I disagree. I actually think that he has a competent basketball team to at least have won more than 2 games by now.
I know, but I mean, this is the first time that he's actually put a good starting lineup out on the floor, because he keeps starting fucking Isaiah Stewart. He's not a power forward. Why do they keep starting him? Like this was a good line. I mean, they kept like Burks played with more minutes even though they started Knox, but I thought that was their best game that they played. Cade Cunningham took the piss in the first half. That was sensational. And their want to win that game, I think they rebounded Boston on the offensive rebounds by like 10, which is amazing. And let's be honest here, if it wasn't for Kristaps Porzingis and his ability to be able to now get the ball in the post, because when he played in Dallas and New York, they never gave him the ball in the post, and then when he got to the Wizards, they realized that he could. Boston have been like, you know what? Bugger it. You're bigger than everyone else. Here's the ball. I have no idea why Tatum did not give the ball to Kristaps in the post to get that game winner.
I've got one better for you. Derek White was literally standing underneath the basket. Go back and watch like the last 2.5 minutes of the game. There's an isolation move where Derek White is standing under the bucket. The double team comes for Tatum, and he turns around. He literally fronts the defender. And he's like looking over them, being like, what should I do? What should I do? And Derek's like, hey, man.
Yeah. Yep. I'm here.
I'm here. Hey.
Well, Tatum, it's Tatum's team, so he's got to make those reads. But, yep, Detroit. So their next game is against the Raptors on the 30th. And if they do not beat the Toronto Raptors at home, it is officially the new longest losing streak in NBA history, bar none, because obviously they lost the 26 in seasons.
Yep.
And now they've tied for the record that Philly had over to the next year. And now Detroit have the ability to break.
You take in seasons out of it. If you take anything out of it, in season games, regardless, whatever. Yeah, this one is it. It's really make or break their season. Not their season.
No,
their record books. The season's done. This is make or break for the shithouse record books. And we'll get down to that one. I mean, there's our preview. They're probably going to lose. But here's the rest of the previews for tomorrow. Just by the way, the Spurs are pulled away up 20 points, and if Champagne could just do a thing like score the basketball at least once or twice, that'd be fucking fantastic for my pick.
He'd also pulled away to 20 points ahead, and the Lakers currently lead the Hornets by 12.
Yeah, they've really pulled away. They've decided to stick their neck down on the throat today and actually go hard. And Nick Richards is leading the way for them. Let's have a look for Friday to start off one. Let me say this one. We do the heat check where we do the preview for the weekend. Now, I mentioned earlier about our back-to-back games for the Thursday to Friday. So I'm currently riding into my Friday game, but I might do that. So if you hear this pod first, you still are on the Friday to Saturday, the beginning of your back-to-backs in America or in Australia, wherever you are. So your Friday, Saturday back-to-backs we're looking at are the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Raptors. The Saturday and the Sunday, we are looking at the Lakers as the only back-to-backs for the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Raps. The Saturday and the Sunday are the Lakers. Friday is a massive schedule, though. We have 10 games on the Friday. But it's been like one of the better weeks for fantasy after a while. Like it's starting to come back to some normality with the amount of games per day. And we've got 6 games on Saturday and 6 games on Sunday. So you really want to maximize that Saturday and Sunday if you can with a Lakers player, if you can pull one into your squad for those ones, especially at the end of your deadline on Friday, Saturday, if you can get rid of one of those players.
Who would that be, the Lakers player that you would ideally
Rui.
for the
I think right now I'm looking at Rui just for memory consistency. It's Torian Prince, it's Rui Hachimura, it's Cam Reddish. We'll talk about buy low guys, and I might touch on Austin Reeves a little bit later when we talk about that because he's on his little bit of a down from where he was. So I think that you're probably looking at those guys for the jump start. Who are you liking there, mate?
None of them really. Prince maybe, but if that's at back to back, but no, Hutchinson
it also depends on
enough for me across the board. So, and I'd look at Vanderbilt if he did more.
Yeah, Vando,
not at the moment.
Yeah,
Very
much
now. Yeah, now that Russell's not starting and they're starting LeBron at point guard, which seems to be working all right.
Your defensive specialist.
Yeah, exactly.
Jared Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say what I really like when we look at the scores ahead? We use ESPN when we do this preview and we look through the ESPN things as much as anyone else. Can I just say this game tomorrow is in Washington. It is the lowest ticket price of an NBA game that I have seen in a very long time. It is
really?
as low as it's $23 a ticket.
23
so
bucks.
$23. That's like, hey,
Matty,
no one wants to see these guys play.
That's less than a bloody big burger box from Macca's. That is unbelievable. That's
in US dollars.
That's what but still, that's what we pay for the top of the stands at the MCG on level 4, right at the very, very back, when you just try and get tickets on the day. That is unbelievable.
This is not that. Look, you talk us through that, and I'm going to give you some wild information. Talk us through the Nets. Talk us through the Wizards. Well, who you liking? Who are you not liking there? Are there any ads you want to keep your eye on in this game?
Right. I mean, it's in Washington. Ben Simmons still out. Lonnie Walker's still out. Claxton looks like he's going to return. Mikal Bridges needs to pull his finger out because he's been shithouse as of late. I mean, the Nets are just chugging along, aren't they? You'd want to see them all back to full health to see what they can really provide, but
oh my God.
And then the Wizards also are just the Wizards, but I'm liking that. I'm keeping my eye on Delon Wright for the Wizards. If he gets a bit more minutes, we all know that he can be an absolute steals machine. Think kind of like what Caruso does for the Bulls. So I keep my eye on Delon Wright if he can get above 28 minutes. But that's obviously going to take a Poole or a Jones injury or something like that. But because I don't know how they can they couldn't add him to the lineup at the 3 with Jones and Poole as well. So, but I'm keeping my eye on Wright soon as he's back in the mix. I don't know. You'd think Brooklyn here, but I mean, it honestly wouldn't shock me if the Wizards take this.
No, it wouldn't shock me at all, to be honest. And it wouldn't shock me to see that the pretty much center circle seats 8 rows back from half court for a Wizards game at home versus the Nets is only $166. So that's value. But what is also value, and I'm not afraid to say it, is our good friends Bonus Bank. Now, if you're out there and you are looking and you are a punter in any way, shape, or form, make sure you check out our sponsor, Bonus Bank. Use promo code INSIGHT for your first months, 25% off your subscription. They are one of Australia's best side hustles. If you've got match betting and gambling, or it's like, oh, this promo was on today where you could get this free cash back if you do this, this, and this. It's low risk, a high return, and users who take part of the system can get up to $2,500 in their first 2 months. You get 25% off with the promo Insight. Make sure you get onto that one and do it right there. Tomorrow, the other one, straight up off the bat, is the Knicks and the Magic game, where their tickets are less than $100 because, you know, they're on Orlando, but that's not important information. The important information is Jalen Brunson is continuing to be a brilliant player of basketball this season and really making a welcome return to form.
Absolutely, mate. Could not agree more. I'm actually very interested to watch this game because I think it will be actually a very competitive game. This is the game where Jalen Suggs can really cement himself. If he can slow down Brunson in his one-on-ones, because Suggs is an amazing like one-on-one defender on the perimeter, and his energy and effort is just second to none. So if he can lock up Brunson, then it's obviously going to be a lot of shooting from Randall and Barrett. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting game. It's another one that can go either way, but for better reasons rather than the Nets versus the Wizards. Fultz is still out. Ingles is still out. Isaac and Harris are both GTDs. Jericho Sims is out as well for the Knicks. So Hartenstein's going to get the bulk of the minutes there. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. We need to say Paolo's his free throws have gone back down again, as well as his field goal percentage. We need to see them creep back up. But Franz Wagner's been playing his ass off. So I can't wait to see this one. I think I would be looking at Randall for the overs, and I think that Knicks might take it, but I'm not fully confident in that. I'm just going to stick with Randall hitting the overs on the points, which I believe would be about 20.
Now, your next best ticket value in the NBA is for $35 to sneak into the nosebleed section to watch the visiting Sacramento Kings versus the Atlanta Hawks. Both Trae Young, like the beam, both Trae Young and De'Aaron Fox have been absolute weapons for their respective teams as of lately. Here, Jalen Johnson's impact has returned in Atlanta. He's come back pretty much where he left off straight away. He was, I guess, as far as our young blokes go and improve, he is having an absolute blistering season. Keegan Murray as well. I flirted with him on a couple of waiver wires and I didn't take him. I was like, I'm okay at that spot right now. I'm not going to take him. Jesus, I almost regret it because he has been on an absolute scintillating scorch lately. And I'm going to get to one of my sell highs on Bogdan Bogdanovic a little bit later in the show when we do our sell highs, because Bogdan Bogdanovic is one of them. No real ads here, Skiddy, if you could take your mind.
Nah, I mean, Hunter's still out, so we keep rolling with Bay, but I think Bay may go back to the bench when Hunter returns. Not really liking anyone from this game, but yeah, I'm with you also too on that Keegan Murray, because Jesus, I did not even think that he was going to be doing what he's doing this season, but his rebounds are up. His three-point shooting is still immaculate, and they're actually giving him more of the ball, not just like if he misses his first two shots, he doesn't shoot for the rest of the game.
And this is what we talked about. And this is what we talked about as well, like that consistency and confidence for him, no matter what, like just to get him more ball. And they didn't, and they did, and they didn't, and they did. And it was spasmodic, and owners of Keegan Murray dropped him. So there's a lot of Keegan Murray owners out there right now who drafted him because he was going late in drafts. So he's like, I'll get Keegan Murray in. Far out. He's been on an absolute scorching tear through the NBA lately. Mate, next one up, the Raptors and the Celtics on the back-to-back today after this Detroit Pistons schmozzled today where they almost lost. Mate, tell me how you feel about this one, Skidmore.
Oh, man, this one could be a little bit spicy. I'm not going to lie to you, G-Wiz. This... Jeez, I mean, would it shock me to see the Raptors come into Boston and bowl the Celtics, who are on a back-to-back? I think it really does depend on if Jaylen Brown plays or not tomorrow. Because, I mean, back-to-backs, Boston have looked a bit better coming for them this season, but they only beat the Raptors by 3 last time, and then the time before that, they blew them out, but that was without a few of their starters. The Raptors do play pretty well against the Celtics. It would not shock me if the Raptors win this game. I'm not going to lie to you, G.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me either, especially on the night of the back-to-back.
I think it really does depend if Brown plays as well. I think he.
Yeah, it depends if he's back. He's a
if
game time
he
decision
gets
as well.
Yeah, with that back injury. So if he gets if he plays it, and I would assume, well, Al Horford's going to sit because Al Horford can't play a back-to-back at all.
No way.
His back flares up every single time they call him and they go, "Oh, we've got a back-to-back." Al's like, "No, back hurts. I can't play." So I believe they'll be without Horford, which means Cornet's probably going to get the backup center minutes. But that depends if Porzingis is going to play as well. I mean, he's known to sit a couple. He's still carrying a couple of injuries. So, I mean, Raptors could be a bit of value tomorrow if we see that all those Celtics players are out, because their length they do have enough length to be able to be somewhat defensively liable against the Celtics. So nice one to watch out for. The Raptors are currently $4.45 at the moment. So we will have to wait and see on that one.
And the line of Boston is under 9.5 as well. So I'm actually leaning Raptors there for that one.
I like the line there. The line's at 9.5.
9.5 right now. The line is at Boston under 9.5 points. That's a really Skiddy straight onto the sports.
Of course. Yeah.
Here we go, straight away. Look, your team, the Bucks versus the Cavaliers tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing that I've got to really say right now is, and I'm a proud owner of him in many ways. I don't know where the hell Donovan Mitchell's been for 4 games and what kind of illness or gastro or whatever. I mean, my son goes to daycare, and my wife's been hospitalized and back on her feet within 48 hours, 72 hours. This bloke has got professional medical care and been at shoot around, and he's been out for 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row now. So it's just reaching the point where what's wrong with Donovan Mitchell, who's been present at the game. So it's not like a COVID thing, even if it was. I don't understand. I just want Donovan Mitchell back, and maybe I'm a little bit upset about the whole thing because I own Donovan Mitchell in like 3 leagues, and he's been one of like my favorite players that I own all season long. Skiddy, do you have any inside word from Cavs land when my guy is going to come back for me?
Man, I think it could be this game, but what's the point in rushing him when Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell have all been out and the Cavs are 4-1? They are just absolutely taking the piss. That game against Dallas, I mean, even me personally, I gave him no hope, and I thought Luka was going to drop 70 on us. He looked like he was going to do it in the first quarter. But then they came out, they stuck it out, and they played some beautiful basketball there. And the ball movement that the Cavs are doing now that they can't rely on Mitchell and Garland all the time, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Craig Porter Jr. is just getting the ball moving. They're running the ball through Allen through the post as well. I really like how they've been playing. But if Mitchell doesn't play tomorrow and we roll up against the Bucks with that lineup, I don't give us a lot of a chance. I mean, they've been playing really well, but the Bucks with Dame
Bucks line is only under 5.5. They're only under 5.5 as well. Milwaukee minus 5.5, which I think is very you can blow them out by a lot more than that. I think Spider might play, and I want to see a Spider versus Dame. I really want to see a Spider versus Dame battle. Like that's for me. It's like fun.
In saying that, if Spider does not play, we are rolling with Craig Porter Jr. again. This man is nearly getting triple dubs. He gets defensive stats. He gets 12 rebounds last game against Dallas. Outrageous. And then he's still providing the assists. He's not getting you much scoring, but that's all right because he's not taking many shots. But he's getting you everything else, and that's what you want. So if Spider's out again, we roll Craig Porter Jr.
Yeah, you do. And I'm not afraid to say that the once and future king, Jarrett Allen, is being absolutely phenomenal there in Cleveland. You say he's been really directing traffic down there, directing the ball through the post. He's been fantastic. But I think Malik Beasley is the main guy I think we can say on the waiver wires for the weekend ads and pickups right now that you want to have a look at. He is going to be able to probably, I want to say scorch the opponents there, but Malik Beasley probably off board there if the attention is going to Giannis and to Dame. He's going to be a pickup there. So look out for Malik Beasley for a source of threes. And also if you want tickets for $35, Skiddy, you can head over to Cleveland very, very quickly. We're also looking at next one. We've got the Sixers and the Rockets here. Now, the Raptors were one of our teams, obviously, that we were talking about earlier that have the back-to-back on the Friday to Saturday. The other one is the Sixers. We touched on the Knicks earlier as well. The Knicks we're looking at probably anyone there like Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, whoever around on the wire for the Friday, Saturday back-to-back. But we're looking probably here in the sixes for none other than your sexy
Paul
boy.
Reed, baby. Oh, Paul Reed, and also my sexy boy Kelly Oubre, if he's still there. He had a stinker last game, but Paul Reed's the one that can give you a shitload of fantasy value. Kelly Oubre was really good on the defensive end. I might get a big Kelly Oubre poster to put up there, actually. That'd be nice. He got you the defensive stats, but yeah, he killed you a little bit on the percentages with his shooting, but that can turn around. No Dylan Brooks and no Jabari Smith Jr. for the Houston Rockets, which means Tari Eason is a go. I have
and he's available, and we had a look at this yesterday when we were chatting. He was in 55% of leagues.
Yep.
He was owned, and that was really surprising because he had gone down 1%. So you and I were chatting yesterday on a pod, and I was like, let me just look into that live, because we said, oh, you're probably not going to be able to get him around the place. And we're like, oh, let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. I'll have a look right now at what Tara Eason is, because on Yahoo, we were both absolutely shocked to see this guy. Now, it's got to be in 10-team leagues. You're not going to find him. But to find him anywhere flirting around 55% is really surprising. And okay, so this is real, like, this is
what
like,
the fuck was that?
He's gone down 2% more, Skiddy.
Wow, eh?
Tari Eason's gone down to 53%. Now, I know it's on the back of a game where he went 2 from 6 and 50% from the line, but the 5 steals were incredible, and you got to value that. And he's going to be better from the field. He's going to get more opportunities than 6 shots with Jabari Smith Jr. being out, but he's gone down 3% in Yahoo. Like, this is and we just did a thing like a week and a bit ago. It's like, is it happening? Because he was putting together double, like almost like the string of 18 and 14, 25 and 14, 11 and 8, 11 and 6, 14 and 8, getting you steals left, right, and center. And people keep dropping the bloke.
Yeah.
But now he's got opportunity galore, possibly. So, yeah, you're bang on the money. Tara Eason's your guy there.
Yep. And also, I know Brooks is out, but look, if they roll out Tate, no, for me, I don't like what Tate brings. If I want to see how the rotation looks, we didn't get to see it fully because the Suns absolutely smacked them last game. And I know Whitmore got a lot of got 12 points in 14 minutes or something like that, and he was a good source of that. But I don't
think 17. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't think that will
happen. It was hollow one.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get the minutes in this one. I think Houston could almost roll them here. It's going to just depend on how well they can defend Maxey, but I guess they don't have Brooks, actually. So, yeah, actually, no, Philly. I like Philly here, actually. But, if it's Tate, I don't care. I really want to see them put more minutes into Amen Thompson and just let him see what he can do. But I think that's going to be more of a Jalen Green outing rather than if it's going to be Brooks or Fred. And they keep pumping these minutes into Aaron Holiday. They have so much trust in Holiday. Could be a good source of threes and assists if needed there. But obviously not on the back-to-back. We're paying more attention to Oubre, Reed, those kind of guys from Philly.
And let's get through our last 4 games, because one of them is pretty much like a case of history repeating. So we'll save that one for the very end, and we'll touch on the score for that one. Look, this one, Thunder and Nuggets, it's going to be incredible to see Shea kind of versus Jokic. Like this, I mean, Jokic is on the back on a perfect game, like perfect from the field, triple-double. It's an incredible game. Shea has been undisputably one of the best players in NBA fantasy this season. There is no one here apart from Peyton Watson that we're looking really at adding right now between these two teams, especially with what he's done today with Denver. So we've touched on that one. We think he's good to go. The Hornets and the Suns is our next game. Where do you go here? You really just got the rotating thing. You're not really looking at any Hornets, but Nick Richards with Mark Williams being in and out of the rotation when limited due to his injuries and returning and all that kind of jazz. I think you're going to look at right here. They're on the back-to-back leg as well, so probably not looking good there, you'd say, Skiddy, for a big run.
Phoenix are going to kill them. That's all I have to say. Yep. Charlotte suck without ball, and they're on a back-to-back, and they are currently getting belted by the Lakers, and that's what the Suns are going to do to them tomorrow.
Yeah, they're pretty much laid down the mercy rule at this point. They've gone up 22 points, and Max Christie is getting defensive rebounds. So, if the Lakers have done this one, they've just had enough of it, and they're done. Next game up, who's on your agenda for the Who's on your agenda for the next one, Skiddy?
We got Portland versus San Antonio again.
We do. That's what I'm saying. This is the case of history repeating.
We do too. Righto. So, and the Spurs are currently up 16 with 3 to go in the last. So, I mean, we could pretty much just look at what's going on in this game and transfer it over to tomorrow. So you probably want to drop Champagny because he's been shit. But
no. Look, I do. I don't. The 13 minutes. I obviously no. I don't. I've got an ad I can make. I think I've got one. I've got 2 more up my sleeve. I might have to run a back-to-back, to be honest, and drop him but I do like that he's got me 2 steals and a block today. I just hate the 0. I just hate that he's taken 1 shot in his 13 minutes and Keldon Johnson's come back out and gone 4 from 10 from the field. And I don't like it. I thought there was a runway there for him to have an opportunity. He did. He had the opportunity and he gets 13 minutes. He's played just over a quarter of basketball. The 2 steals and the 1 block, those per 36 numbers, bloody hell. Just multiply that by 3, basically, and the guy's an absolute elite. But the 2 from 2 from the free throw line, he's buoyed that for me. I can move. If I can move on there, I've got to drop today, and I've got to get myself onto a Nick, a 6, and a Raptor to make the most of the back-to-back, and then I have to roll a Laker if I can. If I can drop 2. It's pretty much down to the wire on that one and see what my opponent does. So it's really a strategy one when it's 4-5, and I'll read you out the line right now. He's up. I'm not going to win field goal percentage. I'm up free throw. I won't lose that. It's only 4 threes involved in it. Points, I'm pretty clear there. I'm down 25 boards. I'm not probably going to make that up. Assists, I'm down 17. Steals is in the balance right there. But I have a much bigger slate to finish the week up with some bigger boys. And Ja Morant sat today as well, which I didn't like. So with Ja being out today, didn't help me at all. Didn't help my cause.
So in this game, Portland versus San Antonio tomorrow, though, it does look like Ayton, Sharp, and Simons all have a chance that they may play. DeAndre the most likely with Simons and Sharp because Simons has an illness. So wait and see on that. But we may have to wait on if there's not really anyone to pick up besides Brogdon for the Blazers. So so we're just holding wait for that. But then our last game, we've got the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Clippers. Memphis on a back-to-back here after getting belted by the Nuggets. And it says on my app that Ja is still out. So
he's still out with the illness. He's listed as possibly out. And the thing was what are we going? Which game are we going to go all out for? I think they rested him this one to get him right for tomorrow. Could be a flu game situation where he comes back from it. Look, they were on absolute tear. They were undefeated with Ja back in their lineup. I think we're looking on the back-to-back that they've gone out there. Look, there's nothing that I'm gleaning from this one, but what I am really hopeful for is a bounce-back game from old mate tomorrow because, I would like Triple J to pull his finger out. I think that brings us to this one. Skiddy, let's do this one. Let's do our buy low guys right here. Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to be an up and down. He's like an up and down bouncy ball. He's highs. He's had some highs, and those highs people were flirting with him initially in early drafts and mocks in the first round. They were like, "Oh, he's going to be huge, especially with Ja out. It's going to be uncontrollable. He's just going to be insane." And then second round he started to slip, and third round he started to go in some drafts on draft day, which was probably about fair. Now, in the past month, he's been around a top 50 player in the past month, which is much to his credit. He's been top 70 over the course of the season. But in the last week, he's been outside the top 100.
Yeah, wow.
Now, that's huge. I actually had a trade today, Skiddy. I had a trade out. Do I want to take Tyus Jones, who will be one of my sell high candidates, by the way? I had someone offer me Tyus Jones for Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I didn't consider it because I know that Jaren Jackson Jr. can be better, and he's been obviously a little bit better. He can be a bit better with Ja around. This has got to wait to click, and this is what you get with Triple J. But there is a massive buy low window on a guy who was on the season being a top 70 player, who we can be a top 20 player in fantasy, top 30 player. But when for the last 2 weeks he has been outside the top 100, well, there's your opening. And we always come up against this thing in buy low guys, Skiddy, where people invest hard in a guy. They don't want to let it go for nothing. So you need to be prepared to give a little bit but you could get something back of value that needs for your team and to match your team's needs, because this is the time. Because this is halfway through your fantasy season, folks. And I'm shitting bricks in a couple of leagues. I'm not going to lie. I've had injuries left, right, and center. And then I get illnesses for Donovan Mitchell. Random illnesses. Hear me out for 4 weeks. And I lose in 2 weeks points by 8 without Donovan Mitchell. Because obviously there's no IR spot there. I can't draft someone in. So I lose. So Skiddy, this is a guy who we know can be better than this. In the past month, he was the 42nd value, 42nd value according to Basketball Monster. But right now, in the last 2 weeks, he's been 144th. There's going to be frustrated owners out there. I think your perfect owner is someone who's traded for him in a league. And because I actually offered up Miles Bridges in return in that trade. I was like, maybe I'll give you Miles Bridges for Tyus Jones. Maybe. Skiddy, what do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't do Jaren for Tyus Jones just because I know that Jackson's upside's way higher. I think Jones is playing at his peak right now. I mean, he got a triple-double the other day. So, that wouldn't be for me. But, I would be holding Jackson and just hoping he gets better when Jar comes back as well. He just needs to get his blocks up a little bit more. That's been his downfall, and I'm pretty sure his field goal percentage has been actually pretty crap in the toilet as well. But that does happen when he doesn't have Jar with him, because he has to obviously take more shots to rely upon. But
it's just been over 500 for the field. In the last 2 months, he's been 460 from the field. He actually has been better the last couple of weeks. He's been 506. His free throws are about the same, but the 3 points, like his percentage on this one, is down under it's down under 300. Like his 3-point shooting this year it's been almost since his 2021 season. It's been at 284 and he's at 315 now. So it's his second worst 3-point season. It's just not looking good for the bloke. And his 2-point percentage is down. This is a time you want to look at it. Like you want to look at the guy and be like, what's his body of work? And the lack of blocks has been the most concerning thing. In the past 2 weeks, he's been averaging just over 1 block. In the last week, he didn't get you any. So people look back over that 4-game slate and they don't see any blocks. They're like, oh shit, what's going on there? This was a guy last year who was averaging 3 blocks a game. The year before that, 2.3 blocks a game. And this year he's at half that. He's at 1.6. So he's at half the block potential. And this is what brings his value down, because the real value in Jaren Jackson Jr. was good field goal percentage, excellent free throw percentage, made some threes, got you some rebounds, and his rebounds are down as well. So he's at 5.7 on the year, which is down from, it's basically down 1, which is just, he's always fluctuated though. He's never been an elite rebounder. He's never actually topped over like 7 or 8 or 9 rebounds a game. So, I mean, this is obviously the blessing of having someone like Steven Adams in your team who can just eat them alive.
That's the problem.
And that's the problem. So you'd think without Steven Adams being there this year, there was a better opportunity for that for him. Well, there was. Who's it going to? Bismack Biyombo? Xavier Tillman, Santi Aldama, whoever they've just rolled out there to fill that center spot. Kenny Lofton, even for a short time while he's not on the team anymore. Like, bugger, man. He's not even there anymore. So, mate, that's my first. Why low Jaren Jackson Jr.? This has opened up another window for you, so I'd be looking at that right now as well. Who do you think, Skiddy?
I have my buy low is might actually surprise a few people, but mine's the 86th ranked player over the last 3 weeks, and that's Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns. I've been surprised with when I looked at it, right? You see like in the box score and you kind of go, oh yeah, no, Booker's had 24 and 6 or something like that. You go, oh yeah, that's a pretty good game. I'll take that. But then when you actually look into it more in depthly, right? So he's been averaging 26 points per game in the last 3 weeks. That's good. But he's only hitting 1.5 threes. And then his rebounds are down to 4. His assists are up, which is okay. But then 0.7 steals, 0.3 blocks. He's shooting 48% from the field. And then, Jay, this is the biggest, most obvious buy low that you'll ever see. Devin Booker's shooting 79% from the free throw line on 7 attempts a game. So he is killing you from the free throw line, right? He is not a 79% free throw shooter, and that is what is sending him down. Maybe you can get a chance here to be able to get a buy low while his assists and scoring might look high. You can put this into a deal and be like, hey, look, his assists and points are high, but you need these other categories, right? And he's killing you in the free throws.
No,
Maybe,
you're bang on, and that's what you got to look
yeah,
at. You got to look at what they need and what they
everything.
don't need. So that's what you can look at these. So this was a guy we talked about at the beginning of the season, Skiddy. I'm right with you. That was a possible MVP candidate. Like we were looking at Devin Booker, no matter what, with this big three in Phoenix, to have absolute, real, valid impact across the board. And he's still Devin Booker. He's still absolutely incredibly elite. But what do the other blokes need? Like, do they need block shots? Cool. Maybe you get someone, maybe you flirt with someone like a Jaren Jackson Jr. and someone else in your package, and you can get a guy back. Like, what do they need? Because Book hasn't been showing out like we want. We have this beautiful notion of Devin Booker, the once and future king to Kendall Jenner. We have this beautiful version of Devin Booker as like this player. But and this is the thing, like when we invest high, where do you think you would have gone, Skiddy, in most leagues? Like second round? At worst?
Mostly it was early second round. It was roughly around about pick 14, 15, I think, from memory, or maybe even 13. Yep. Roughly around that.
And this is like, people don't want to give up a bloke in the second round for just chump change. So you may be looking at maybe a third or fourth round bloke who's excelling right now and giving you those stats. That's what can really open up a bit of a window for you. So we're going to roll from there because we really want to look at guys like that as our main ones. So if those are our two main guys, is there anyone else? Touch on your other, like on you guys. Let's touch on them. If you got a couple of other names you want to run by for me, buy lows.
There's one that actually surprised me when I was going through, and that's Bam Adebayo. He's the 168th ranked player over the last 3 weeks while Jimmy's been out. But it's a pretty obvious reason of why he's so far down. He's averaging 21 points per game and 9.8 rebounds. Nothing wrong there. 4.8 assists, fine. A steal and a block. You look at all that and you go, how good's that? But he's only shooting 47% from the field, which is very, very un-Bam-like. He's shooting 74% from the free throw line as well, which is one of the reasons why Bam is so good as a center, is because normally his free throw is better than that. And then he's getting 4 turnovers a game. And that's just an absolute obvious fact that it's because Jimmy Butler isn't there and Kyle Lowry's not there. So he's absolutely smacking you in his turnovers. So he can be way better than this. We all know that. So it's an easy buy low. These are the type of players that you need to look at when you go, okay, there is got to be a reason why, but people only look, some people only look at the start of the box scores. They'll only look at points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. And then they just leave out the other set of the categories because they can't be bothered looking at them. But this is where you can pounce on a player. Bam's 48th for the year, right?
Yeah.
And he can be so much better than that. But the numbers at the moment are just so down. And it's just purely because he's field goal, free throw, and turnovers. They're the ones that are down. And, to me, it's just an obvious thing of when Jimmy comes back, Bam doesn't have to get as many turnovers as he does because Jimmy helps him, take the ball out of his hands. Free throws are going to come up, and then Jimmy obviously and Kyle Lowry give him way better looks at the rim as well because so many people, gravitate towards Jimmy, and then Bam gets open. So there's another nice little nugget there that you can try and get the buy low for Bam Adebayo.
Now, there's a player that I want to flow out there for you as well, and you touched on someone as well. I'm a little bit tempted by Alperen Şengün as a buy low, and I know it sounds weird when you're talking about a buy low guy who scored 24 points, 30 points, 37 points, 22 points, and he's had some monster rebound games here, 16, 15. But the thing that we liked about Alpy, and the thing we want to remember about Alpy to really set your heart on fire at the beginning of the season, is that we love some certain things from him. Because there were things that we didn't see from him last season that we were wondering why. We wanted to see him get some more blocks, get some more steals, be a more consistent playmaker, and shoot the 3 ball better. And all of that was there. All of those statistical profiles were there to begin the season. And everyone was like, oh, Alpy's great, Alpy's great, Alpy's great. Yeah, Alpy was great. Alpy was absolutely incredible. In the last month, like last week, he was amazing. Like he was incredible, but those are starting to show some regression. I just think those things are going to come back. And so when I say buy low, it's not like, oh, he's playing shithouse, because obviously he's not. He's been shown first round player, but I don't think people are going to value him as a first round guy. I don't think they're going to value him as a second round guy because of those things are missing. And people are really, if you could offer someone, like I know people have been sending out trades for Karl Anthony Towns for him, for Bam Adebayo for him. There's been these big man swap things going on for people who are like, maybe they're fine on points. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're okay on rebounds and they're looking for the promise of steals, blocks, better percentages because his percentages have been solid. His free throws have been solid. He actually offers a lot more upside, but I just think there's this value there's this value for Alpi that could just go very, very quickly. I just think he's a guy that can come and go at times, and he's on an upward swing right now. He literally is, for me, on an upwards. Like, I literally love the bloke, but the things that we love for players, when they disappear, and people are hunting for those things come playoff time. So this is my caveat. He's not a buy low, but he's not giving you what he needs. So those players who are looking for him, it might be an interesting look or a dynamic for you to shake things up on your roster and give one of those high, like maybe you throw out there like a Victor Wembanyama, who I think has a potential to rest down the stretch, Skiddy. Mm-hmm. I think there's games that he can take off. There's even these reports coming out from the San Antonio Spurs people that, you know, that they're not passing him the ball when he's open enough, that there's a little discontent in the team with Victor. Like all these really weird things are going on that we're not used to hearing from the days of Kawhi Leonard in San Antonio. If they do end up resting him, this is a guy, all of a sudden, there's all these sexy blocks and steals for Victor Wembanyama. You could get Alpi Şengün for that. And I actually think Alpi is the guy I might prefer more long-term, possibly.
Okay. I'm still taking Wemby, but that's all right because, you know, I want the blocks and I think he's just a freak of nature and I think he's just going to be amazing for fantasy for so many years to come. So, but I hear what you're saying though, because Alpi he's an amazing talent. There's a reason why people compare him to like somewhat Jokic light, because he's 100%. Bloody good. I love watching Alpi. I reckon he's fantastic. Yeah. And I love how he does everything and his heart is just so good. And shit, man, I'll tell you what, if he gets some, you know, cheeseburgers and gets on the back of a couple of horses over the offseason, man, we could be seeing an absolute Jokic comparison here because he can read the game so well. And I'm
all in on him. I'm all in on him in your fantasy seasons, man. Like he's got that, you're right. He reads the game so well. Like watching him play is like, he's got that European motor where they just read the game of basketball so well.
Yeah. I haven't seen him. He does this move as well where he like kind of rolls into the post. He puts his shoulder and his arm into his defender in the post and he shoots a hook shot, but he shoots it from about like here. And he just kind of goes
it's
like that. It's quick as all shit. And I've never seen it get blocked. And then if not, he'll pull back and he'll do like this little fadeaway. And it's like a Jokic shot as well. That fadeaway is not getting blocked either.
No.
So, yeah. So, no, I really love what Alpi's done. How about any hot guys aside from Kelly Oubre?
Oh, this one.
Pull over by this hot guy and let me out.
Oh, I had that ready for you, Skiddy. It's like I actually should have just messaged you, but I haven't got my phone anywhere bloody near me. I would like to submit to the case of one Bogdan Bogdanovic as a sell high. I just think he has been incredibly good this season, and I'm a proud owner. I was in a league earlier this season where I had him and Kobe White in a deal to get one Tyrese Maxey the day before a trade happened with James Harden going, and everyone was like, "Oh, Bogdan's shit. He's just like not even like the eighth man in Atlanta." I'm like, no, dude, the guy is going to be amazing. And I actually think Kobe White's going to be an incredible player like this season and give you, and it was like, oh, it's crap. And this was before the trade and we didn't know what was going on. And it was announced that Harden would be coming back into the lineup. Mm-hmm. So we made this trade. And then it got vetoed on the back of everyone said it was horseshit that Bogdan Bogdanovic was crap. The bloke is getting you 3 assists a game, 1.4 steals. He's getting 4 threes a game on 48% shooting. Like Bogdan Bogdanovic has been incredible in Atlanta, but Jalen Johnson's back, and we're already starting to see that potentially there is a potential for that to change quite easily. So I do think that there is a sell high window for the hot guy that is one Bogdan Bogdanovic, because he has been a consistent contributor in a lot of categories in your teams, and people are going to see what he offers across the board. But I think his window, when DeAndre Hunter is back and they're figuring out that with Sadiq Bey, I think he's also a potential trade candidate in this team as well, come the deadline, if they want to make a move, because we've got to look at his contract and, you know, these things need to be considered. I don't know if they will. I mean, if I was an Atlanta Hawk, I wouldn't want to let the bloke walk. But if someone comes along that they find more enamored by, well, maybe they shake it up. Maybe it's a Capella and Bogdanovic trade that they get someone big for them. I don't know, but I definitely think he's the guy right now it's basically at the peak of his powers. He doesn't get much better than this.
Oh, mate, he's been absolutely sensational. I mean, over the last 3 weeks, he's averaging 23 points per game, and on the season he's at 20. He's at 17. So, and that's with he's been getting 6 extra minutes per game. So that right there is the flag of what's going on, and I believe that's because of Hunter and Johnson's absences. So I mean, his 3-point shooting has been amazing. He's been almost hitting. He's been hitting 3.5 threes per game. His steals is what has been really impressing me for this year, which has been 1.3. That's come away in the last little bit. He's obviously going to have sky high free throw percentage as well. I know it's on low attempts per game, but that's what's solid about it. But yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying. I think it is a bit of a sell high, just because 23 points per game on the usage that he's been getting. Because he's been getting 26 usage. That's outrageous. Like,
it's working for some reason. These Atlanta Hawks are playing really good basketball, and the ball is. They've been playing great, and Okongwu's getting minutes beside Capella, and they've been really shaken up under there. And I like it. I like what they're doing, and I think this is the whole thing of Bogdanovic to start with. He was amazing. Look, I took him. Here's the history of the bloke. I drafted him. I added him from free agents at the season. He went undrafted. I added him from free agents, and then I ended up getting him in another trade for someone else, actually, at the season. But this is his time. He's been just so solid. Another 22 points last game, 3 rebounds, only 1 assist. This is a guy who's been playing great. And the assists, by the way, were there more in volume at the beginning of the season. And they've kind of tapered out. Like, there'll be 5, then there'll be 3, then there'll be 1. The steals, they were there, 2 or 3 a game. They've kind of faded a little bit right now. There's been none the last couple of games, no defensive cats. And his percentages are starting to dip down as well. There's been 300, 400, 380, instead of these like 500, 600 games. So I just think this is the time now to move off of him before it continues, because he's going to be a roller coaster, but you might be able to get a really nice piece back for him. What about you, Skiddy? Who's one of you? I agree. Who's your hot guy?
Well, I mean, we could do the dead obvious one if we want. I mean, we'll say it for everyone, but Dante Exum is pretty much the most obvious sell high right now. He's currently ranked 60th. We love him because he's an Australian, but come on, man, he's shooting 64% from the field for the last 3 weeks, and also 57% from 3. That's outstanding. But Kyrie Irving's coming back. I know that they said Dante will still start. I just don't think he gets the same amount of touches as he does without Kyrie. So I think if you can get anyone, around that top 100, top 90, you take it. But if not, you just keep rolling with it. And then if he goes out of the lineup, then you just drop him. But I think Dante is the most obvious sell high at the moment. But, you might be able to find the one there at the right price. The other one that I have is Tyus Bloody Jones.
There we go. I'm with you as well.
In the last 3 weeks, which is outrageous. Credit to Tyus, but he's 56.
A waiver wire guy. Let's not mince words here. This bloke was on waiver wires. People were fed up with what Tyus Jones was doing. The promise wasn't there at the beginning of the season, Skiddy, and they made it. He's turned it around entirely, and now he's one of the hottest properties in fantasy.
100%, man. He has turned it around, and the amazing thing is that he's doing it in about 28 minutes per game, which is amazing. But there's obvious signs here of why he's been so high. We know that the reason why Tyus Jones was so good in fantasy was because of his assist to turnover ratio. And it's good to see that since being in Washington, that hasn't gone away. He still averages 5.4 assists with 0.8 turnovers, which is just fantastic for a guard. But the reason why he's been so high as of the last 3 weeks, his threes have doubled. 3-pointers made has doubled. He's gone up 1 rebound per game. He's getting an extra 2 assists, but his steals have gone from 1.2 to 2. And that right there is telling you why And it's also actually, sorry, there's another reason as well. It's because his field goal percentage has gone from 53% on the year, which is amazing for a point guard. 53% for the year has gone up to 63. He has gone up 10 percentage points in the last 3 weeks. So right there is your red flags. He's not going to be that good. But if I can get a top 50 player back for Tyus Jones, even top 60, I will probably take it. We know that he's not going to be. Well, he's most
Should I do
likely
Miles Bridges for him? Should I switch him for Miles Bridges? Would you do him for Miles Bridges?
Oh,
Here's a question.
Would I trade Tyus for Miles?
Yeah, if someone was offering Tyus Jones to you and sent you Miles Bridges, what would you do? It's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it?
I think
it did make me think.
Yeah, I think I'd feel more comfortable having the swing on Bridges than I would Tyus. I think Tyus is playing at his max, and Bridges with LaMelo is
better. I think it's better.
He just skyrockets when he has LaMelo there with him. But yeah, I mean, I think
you can be curious. You're tempted. You're tempted. You think about it.
The numbers that Tyus is putting out right now, they seem so good, and it's just you want to know if that is completely real. But I feel like the Wizards know that Pools is going to be the point guard. Pools going to be, hopefully what we all thought he was. But yeah, that's my opinion. Have you got any more top guys?
Mate, just Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford would be my other one in Washington. He's been playing really well the last couple of weeks as well. So he's on my radar. Just as always, ordering.
From Gafford, that's outrageous that he's been doing as of late, though.
His field goal percentage is incredible. His free throw percentage has been up. His blocks per game have been 2.5 the last couple of weeks. And this is a guy who was at like 1.3 last year, 1.4 the year before. So his blocks have gone up and he's been at 2.6. So that's almost double what his blocks were last year. His rebounds are up about 9 for the last couple of weeks as well. He's getting just under 30 minutes. He's we always said Gafford was locked in as the and you said this to begin the season. That's why I want to touch on Gafford for you, Skiddy. Who else is playing the big man role in Washington? No one. And he's doing this on 29 minutes a night right now, 26 minutes basically on the season. I think Daniel Gafford, his free throws are up right now. I think they might regress a little bit towards his norms. He's been the best was last season at 732, but he's been shooting his free throws over 800 the last couple of weeks. So that looks a bit of a good flashy time. People are like, over 800 if they look over the last couple of weeks. Oh, look, he's improving. Well, maybe I think it might be a statistical regression there. So I want to look for those outliers. So I think it's definitely on my radar, just as buying something from the standard squeeze. Could be, Skiddy.
Oh yeah, love
always on. I can see the pink one I got from my wife for her return to work back there. Hello. My wife just actually walked by with the baby, and I don't know if she smiled at me or she just smiled at that I got her a standard squeeze pink cup. Look, I'll get it right here.
I would definitely say it'd be because of the standard squeeze. There's no question.
It's because of this bad boy. This is what I got her. I got part of her Christmas present. I jumped on and used it. Thank you very much for the promo code, Ash, and everyone there. Standard squeeze as well. Use promo code INSIDE15 for 15% off these ones. She's going back to work for maternity leave. It's your 4-in-1 cup. She can put a hot chocolate in there every morning. She does hot chocolates on oat milk. That's her drink of choice. I'm thinking when she returns to work, she's going to jump on that train. What can she take with her? This, because she loves pink. That's it. Get your 4-in-1. And it comes in sexy. It comes in sexy black, but also pink.
That's my one.
That's your one.
Black. I love it.
My one's sexy black too. So make sure you jump onto our friends at Standard Squeeze. Big shout out to them. And to you, Skiddy. NBA, we're back, baby.
Yeah, boy. Always a pleasure doing it with you, Jay. So yeah, mate. Let's hopefully we get a couple of winners over on the heat check on the weekend. So
mate, we'll put one in the morning. Actually, we'll chat to each other in the morning. We'll jump on a phone call and we'll put a thing in. We'll post it up online as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to all things Insight on our thing at Insight FS on Twitter, Instagram, Insight Fantasy Sports on YouTube. If you haven't liked and subscribed, we are available also on Apple Podcasts, on all of your podcast needs. Get on there. We're on Apple. We're basically everywhere. And you should be liking and subscribing to all our NBA content because we're at the hump point. Week 10 of your fantasy season. We'll catch you soon, guys and girls.